So this is a HC-30.
All right, so before we get started, and yes, I know you can't see anything. I would have had to lift the plate from the top to see the other plate that's on it. But this is a Delta Faucet company. They purchased Steam Mist. It's made by Steam Mist. Delta Faucet company bought the company, and this unit's 2 years old. And I just want to say, just to preface this video, that the importance of wire diagrams comes to mind when I just think about this whole situation. It's a learning lesson. I thought I knew the sequence. I thought I knew the safeties, but I did not know they were ran in series. So it's a bit of an adventure, but I did get it fixed. So I just wanted to make that preface. Let's go.
Steam generator. And it's basically for a steam room. And when I turn it on, at first I thought it was the uh, controller there, but I reset that, reprogrammed it, didn't do anything. When I came over here, steam light and heater light were both on, but I didn't have 240 to my coils for my 480 for my heat element. So, and also the blue lights flashed for 1 minute, 1 second, then it turned off. The reason why it turned off, that's my sight glass and it's 3/4 full. That's how it should be. So there's water inside of here and it's calling, but I didn't have voltage on my coil for my high voltage. So, and my transformer was fine. My 240 to 480, my 480 to 240 transformer was fine. I checked that. So if you see steam one, there's a steam solenoid, but also there is a pressure cutout switch. We have another one of these that I have to rob parts off of that's not in commission. So I went and took that off and I'm about to try it now, put it on. And when you're taking this off, there is no polarity on this here. And this cutout switch, I wasn't gonna turn it up to try it because it should really be at the lowest point.
So yeah, when I say cutout, it's basically a cutout whenever it reaches over 5 to 8 psi. It will shut the unit down because it's too much pressure for what it's trying to do. You're trying to create steam. It's about 5 to maybe 8 is what I've seen them operate at length at. So yeah.
No polarity, you got two in and then you got a green. And just taking that off there.
So if I was really smart at this point, I wouldn't assume that this pressure switch was solely working on its own. And I would look at the wiring diagram to
Yeah,
see what else is in series.
make sure it's set correctly. All the way down.
So I'm going through
Put
the
that in.
motions here. I think it's this pressure switch, but there's another one that you
Yeah.
will see on it that is wired in series with. And hey, this is the
I
growing
said no
pains.
polarity.
So I'm basically tightening down that ground wire, cranking it on, and on this next clip, I'm actually I heard the contactor pull closed. I hadn't heard that all day. So I think I got a win, and I'm basically just explaining kind of how the thing works and whatnot.
So what you're basically doing is creating steam here. You've got two elements here, 480 that gets signaled by 240. This transforms 480 to 240. It runs through your switches. You got a water pressure switch and you got a high temperature switch. So that 240 is not gonna make it to your contactors or close the contactors if these switches are not on.
And all of this, there's certain principles to these things that we work with. You think about HVAC. If this cuts out, this cuts out, this is in your safety chain. You got a fire, you got a fire switch on your HVAC. You got a low pressure switch, high pressure switch. If these things don't make, the voltage is not going to make it to where it needs to make. And that's the beauty of all of this, that the principles for all of this, for every unit you step to, the principles will basically be the same. You will have a contactor pull in. You will have a signal for that contactor. You will have safeties that things run through. So the main thing is starting to learn those principles. That was kind of the linchpin to where I started to really figure out how things, really worked.
It's a pretty simple system. And then you have this auxiliary stuff here, like this thing here, which is a piece of shit that I have ran a dedicated circuit to, tapped in over there to that box. That comes over here to feed 120 to this pump that's supposed to have fucking eucalyptus smell in it, but the shit is it's terrible. I'll just say that. Anyway, off that. But it's a very simple system. Water, if that sight glass is not on 3/4, then this water light should come on kind of like, I don't know, like a boiler with a pre-purge or something. Like, that's the first part of the sequence. After that, those heaters have to heat up. This is my heat. And once it gets to a certain pressure, it's gonna automatically open this steam solenoid and push steam into my room. So let's go see if it's doing that. Because earlier, it takes a little time and it hadn't heated up yet. So I'm gonna check again. All right. Say that's a good sign. Can't even see my input. Not anymore.
Or we shall learn.
Well, damn, that was hot. Shit, y'all seen it here first. But, yeah, man, oh man, that was hot. But yeah, I mean, all it is solenoids. You got a supply. This is an inline filter for the water, for the inlet, water inlet. You have a backflow here, so water doesn't go back. You have your supply here that branches off of the main supply where you see that gate valve. But you got a discharge right here. This pumps the system down. Every night, every 24 hours, it gets pumped down. Inside of the hole here, you got 2 huge heating elements right there. And those heating elements inside of that hole, it gets very bad at times. Now, if you go get your inspection, then they will ask you to open up that hole so they can see inside of it, to check the condition of it, so they can shine a light through it to see if they see any light peeking through the, if it's too rusted. Right here, I forgot what's inside of there, but there's a part inside of there that I've had to clean one time. I forgot what's inside of there, man. It's been about 3 years, but I had an issue one time where there's a part inside of there that if it gets corroded, you have to clean it, and the unit won't even run if it's corroded. But I forget what it is. But yeah, nifty little machine, man. I'm gonna go show y'all the old ones we have, because I did not have to go get that part. We just had it on site. So All right. And actually, I think you see how I put that on there and it's like this. I'm gonna move it straight up and down because the cover of this is, no, actually the cover is plastic. So guess I won't have to do that. So I ran into an issue like always, and I put the new pressure switch on from my other unit, and boom, it was running for about 5 minutes. I got almost to my set point, then boom, it happened again. It stopped. This is reading open line on terminal 1 and 2 again. And now I'm gonna look at this copper tubing on the inside. I'm gonna see if it's clogged or what, because it has to be something.
And it was nothing. It was nothing. The other pressure switch that you seen turned out to be the, and I'm not with the, hey, spoiler alert or not, we all gotta learn. So, and if we don't, then I do. So, no shame in mine.
Okay, so we're back. This one was not the issue. This is the control for both. So I had my gauge here. It was ramping up to, to plus 10. And I got cutout pressures on here and here. Basically, I replaced this one. And after that, it came on, ran for like 6 minutes, cut right back off. I'm like, you know what? Let me call tech support. Called tech support, told him everything. He told me that this one is in series with this one. So he told me to replace this one. He said if I replace that one and my pressure's still high, then I got a bunch of scale buildup on the inside, which I know I don't because I told y'all about the filter I have, and it's got an auto pump, which pumps it down. It's not a pump, actually, it's a solenoid. So this pumps it down every night, and in the morning it refills. So at night after it'll go all the way down, then it'll come all the way back up. And I actually, to make sure my water was clean, I did a manual pump down on it. And what I did was I took my alligator clips carefully on that 240. I tied it up here so that I didn't have anything slip. And then I connected 240 to here, and then that immediately pumped down. Then I filled it back up, replaced this one, and it's been running about 45 minutes. I just gotta button everything up, as you see. But yeah, it's about a 5-hour job, and half of it was sitting on the line for tech support. So
5-hour job. I'm not gonna tell you how much I make hourly, but I will tell you that my 5 hours was not as much as a service call. And that is the goal of any facilities technician, building engineer. That is the goal, is to save the company money with vendors, contractors who have to come out. The beauty of working on this, and I think one of the reasons why I learned a lot about this specific unit is because we have two of them. We have two different steam rooms, one for men, one for women. And, working in a facility for as long as I have, I've had to try to figure this shit out. I didn't know anything about this thing when I started working here, but I had the initiative to try to learn. Like I said, maybe 6-hour job in total, but wasn't completely working on it the whole time. But that might have been 2.5 hours. That might have been 1 hour. if I would have just read the fucking wiring diagram and seen that those things were ran in series instead of being separate entities, in which I realized, even looking at a package unit for a Aeon rooftop unit for heat, heat call, heat issues. You got different safeties in place, and those safeties run through a chain. So, but at the time, none of that popped in my mind at the time. So, but it's one of those things. I'm not here to be super know it all, act like I know it all. It's not a how to channel. This is my learning experience, my journey. There's no one but the resources at Google and wiring diagrams, which I failed to use, and that's what happened. But you know what? 5 hours later, steam room's back up, and the out of service um, paper was taken off. So that's the main goal. Building maintenance 88, and I'm done. Another day at the office.
I'm a little pissed off, but I learned something new, so that's all that matters.